Hi, welcome back to part 2 of the file folder album, Fancy Pants. And this is the one that we are making. We'll just do a quick flip through on it. Part 1, we made the cover and the inside. That's these pages right here. So the second part, we're going to do the rest of it. So let's get to it. Now this part here, we can go ahead and I'll show you how to cut it, but we won't be able to put it down because you need your paper to be on here before you put this down. So this piece right here is, it's grab your coordinating cardstock, and it is 10 by 7.5. So 10 by 7.5. So you're just going to cut like that, and 7.5. And we might as well go ahead and cut the rest of the stuff for it too. So you can set this aside. And now we're going to cut this page right here. So you'll need to grab another file folder. And we are going to cut this at 7 3/4 by 8 3/4. And we want this tab right here. This is the bottom. Really, it doesn't matter as long as you have your tab there. So we are going to cut this at 8 3/4 by 7 3/4. And so 7 3/4. Oops, we want to cut our tab down here because we need 7 3/4 from the tab. So 7 3/4 by 8 3/4. And just throw that piece away. So there's that piece. And let's mark that the second page. Okay. Set that aside. Now we are going to cut the next one, which is we'll cut the flap here. So that one is, top flap is going to be 8 by 9. So I'm just the file folder we just cut. We want this to be 9 this way and 8 this way. So how? Okay, so we want the 9 from the tab. So go 9 with the tab. And then we want it 8 this way. So we'll just stick it in here like this and do 8. And we will just put top flap on that. It just makes it easier. Your paper is going to cover it anyway, so it won't hurt nothing. It just makes it easier when we go to putting it together, that you ain't having to measure to find out what goes where. So put that aside. And now we are going to do this flap right here. And I'll use the bottom flap, or the bottom tab, sorry about that. And we're going to cut it at 8 and 8 3/4. So we want an 8 from the tab. by 8 3/4 this way. There we go. And we'll just put back flap. Just put back flap on this piece here. Okay, and set that aside. Now we are going to do, let's cut our pieces for these flaps here. And you can do that in your coordinating cardstock. If you do this in file folders, you're going to create quite a bit of bulk doing these. It's just kind of totally up to you. I'm going to do mine in the coordinating cardstock. So we can put the rest of our file folders away. You can use the file folder, the rest of this file folder, to make tags to go inside your pockets. Okay, so you need your coordinating cardstock. Excuse me. And we're going to make 2 pocket flaps that are 7.5 by 4. So I'm going to cut this at 7.5. And then flip it around, and I'm going to cut at 4 and 4. Because we're making 2 of these. Okay, you can set those aside. And now we are going to cut our 2 flaps. Those are, the ones we just cut was for our pocket flaps. Now these are just going to be the regular flaps. And these are 6 3/4 by 4. So let's cut this 6 3/4 by 4. Okay, we'll set those aside. I'm going to just put flap so I know which ones are which. So, because the other ones are pocket flaps, these are just regular flaps. So we'll set those aside. Now we need the little pocket to go on our flaps. So we're going to cut 2 pieces at 4 1/4. So I'm going to use one of my leftovers. So 4 1/4 by 5. There's one. And I can't get it. So by 5. And 4 1/4. Okay. There's our flap, or our pockets. Okay, we are done cutting. So let's get our scoreboard out. And we'll set this aside for a little bit until we're ready for it. We'll get our scoreboard out. These are our pockets. So here's our, and it's not the one with the flaps that says flap that we made. It's these here that we're going to attach these pockets to. So what you want to do, let's see, we need, you're going to stick it in here at the 5-inch side. We're going to do 1/2 inch, rotate it once, do 1/2 inch, rotate it once, and do the same thing with this one. We're going to do 1/2 inch, rotate it, 1/2 inch, and then rotate it again. That forms our pockets. Okay, now on these, you just want to score 1/2 inch on one side, 1/2 inch on the other side. Okay, now the ones that say flap, you're going to score it 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. And this is on the 7 3/4 inch side. So your paper is at 6 3/4. You're going to score it 1/2 inch. And that's how we attach it. So you can set those aside. Let's get our other piece is scored up. Okay, the piece that is 8 3/4 that says the second page, we are going to score on the 7 3/4 inch side, which is going to be, go ahead and put your tab over here, and 7 3/4 we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay. Okay, now the one that says back flap, let's see, back flap is going to be scored with a tab up here, 1/2 inch. And that's on the 8 inch side. So 1/2 inch on that one. And then the one that says top flap, you're going to put, again, your tab up at the top. And we're going to score this at 1/2 inch. And while I'm at it, I'm going to round this corner right there. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And the same way with this one. Okay, so now you can put your scoreboard up. And this might be a good time to break this. Well, we're at 11 minutes. Let's go ahead and get our score pile tape on. So, this is the second page. So it's going to go like this. So we're going to score it back and burnish and put our score pile tape on. And I'm going to use my 3/8 score pile tape on this. And I try to be a little bit closer to the folded side than the cut side. Okay, that's our second page. And this is our back flap. So it's going to go like this. So we want to fold it back. So like that. And it just folds back. So let's get our tape on it. And then our top flap is going to go like this. So we'll fold down on this one. And when I burnish, I always fold it under and burnish. That way you can get a straighter line, and that is off for some reason. I don't want that. Let me see if I can fix this real quick here. I don't know if I didn't have it straight in there or what. And it's a little bit off. You know what? I'm going to go. You guys keep yours at 1/2 inch. I'm going to go 3/4 on mine and see if I can't straighten this up just a little bit. I see, because it's not cut quite straight. So I'm going to go on this other line, kind of straighten this up. Mine will be just a little bit shorter than your guys's, so don't do what I'm doing. I want to get mine straightened up. For some reason it didn't cut straight. Alright, so now I'll apply my 3/8 inch score pile tape. And see, there's always a fix. You know, you make mistakes, you can fix. I'm a true believer in you can fix just about anything when you're crafting. Alrighty, I fixed that. So now what we're going to do is make sure your book is with the tab at the bottom. Open it up, and you're going to pick out your one that said second page, which is this one. And what you're going to do, you're going to attach that. Let me get a piece of black paper here so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. You're just going to attach this right up against this line right here of your file folder. And you are going to make sure you're lined up both ends. When you're lined up, you can go ahead and take your score pile tape off. Just like that. Now you will notice that you have a little hangover. And all I'm going to do is cut that with the way that file folder is already situated. There we go. See, like that? There you go. There's our second flap. Now you're going to flip it over. And we're going to apply this top one right here. So what you do, I'm just going to center this is what I'm doing. Center it in between your score line and the edge here. I'd say that's pretty. Hold it down, then take off your score pile tape. Jeez. Never fails on camera and you can't get the tape off. Wow. Being stubborn. I'll end up bending it. There. There we go. And you want to stay flush with your file folder here. Okay, flip it to the back page. Excuse me. And we are going to attach this to this side. And this one's a little bit shorter, but you still want to stay with your side. Let me get this here. You still want to stay with your side of your tab. Make sure that's what I did on that one. No, I didn't. I have mine like this. So you can either stay here or come in. I think I'm going to come in like I did on my other one. I just, coming in about 1/2 inch, something like that. And I think it's straight. I'm going to take off my score pile tape. And there's that one. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to cut it off here. And we will come back and we will get our flaps on here and our flap pockets on here. And I will be back. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.